When I was hired to be the vice president of value and pricing for a middle market tech company, the president of the company told me my job was to improve the profitability of the firm. My name is Tim, and welcome to the fourth video in the series on vital questions to ask in any pricing decision. Today's question: what are your planned financial outcomes? The place I want to start is with costs. But why costs in a discussion of value and pricing? The reason is absolutely fundamental. If costs are too high, no pricing strategy can save you. If you're responsible for value and pricing in your organization, then there's another dimension of costs that's really important for you to think about. That is, you need to be guiding your firm on investing in areas that deliver true value for customers and decreasing investments in areas that don't deliver real value. Here's a question for you. Are you truly pruning costs from areas that don't create value for customers? Let's move on now to areas of financial opportunity that are most associated with pricing, that is, growth and profitability. In the earlier video on sales effectiveness, I used 3 example situations to discuss sales and channel issues. Now, let's look at a couple of those examples, but from a growth and profitability perspective. And I would encourage you to go back and review the last video. The first example is we did an analysis for a company that revealed that they're losing money on 20% of their customers. Bottom line is this: that company could walk away from that 20% of customers and profits will improve. That's a good news story. But revenue shortfall may not be acceptable. So, what needs to be done? In their excellent book called The Technology as a Service Playbook, Thomas Law and J.B. Wood coined the term profit horizon as a useful framework for thinking about the issue of profitability and growth inside of a firm. I've attached a link below. In this real case, 35 customers were profiled and paths to profitability were defined for each one. Over the next year then, individually and collectively, profit horizons were set that could be managed over time. So we could have a move up or move out approach to those customers, but at the same time manage the revenue and profitability so that we don't have those adverse consequences. This case is a classic example of the inverse relationship between price and volume. In other words, what we expected was that if we went about raising prices for this 20% of customers, there were going to be some of those customers who wouldn't be able to meet our criteria and would fall off our customer rolls. In the second case, we see the exact opposite. That is, higher prices and growth go hand in hand. Trade-off research revealed that customers were willing to pay 5 times what management thought would be possible. The firm is creating unique value for customers that doesn't exist today and that can be leveraged for both high profitability and high growth. This high perceived value and high willingness to pay provide us with guidance in what the offering should be. What should the core offering be? What kinds of services need to be wrapped around the core offering? What options do we need to meet the needs of those customers that are willing to pay the most? Who are they? Who is that target market that's willing to pay 5 times as much as management thinks that the offering is worth? All those kinds of questions need to be answered to define what the revenue engine of the business will be. That revenue engine, in turn, is the heart of the overall business model for this new offering. Let's transition away now from discussion about individual situations and individual offerings and move on to the business planning process itself, which is the process for achieving a financial outcome on a year-in, year-out basis. So where does pricing fall in your business planning process? Is it right at the front of revenue generation planning, where decisions about price are taken into account to impact volume, which in turn drives that revenue generation part of the plan? Or do you do the plan assuming that your price decisions are inconsequential relative to volume? My position on this should be absolutely clear. Pricing decisions should be factored in right at the front of the business planning process. If you've missed any of the other videos in this series, please check these.